Hello and welcome to my storybook cottage, and thank you so much for joining me. And today I have somebody else joining me. This is my friend Alexa Moses, who's also a writer, the author of Twinning, and give us a bit of a list.
I write children's books generally. I've written Michaela Mason's Big List of 23 Worries, Michaela Mason's Big List of Camp Worries, the Twinning series, lots of books for children.
Yeah, okay. And I've known Alexa, we met through our agent, and I've known Alexa for, I don't know, like years and years. Anyway, about a year ago, we got together for a coffee and a meal at a cafe in Sydney.
As we do regularly.
And we
laugh a lot. Spend hours laughing and saying
And we had an idea, and it was all about our hopeless attempts to try and earn money as middle-aged women. And we were talking about how we both had really good wife skills and whether we could somehow monetize that. And then we thought, what a good idea for a book. So we started to put together this kind of comedy rom-com, I suppose.
Look, it was really a roller coaster ride. We we came up with the idea, we thought it was hilarious, so much that we snorted our coffee and tea and sat there laughing in the cafe till they closed it on us. And then we just started to talk via Zoom and via Messenger, and we started to come up with the story, and then we just got taken by it and began to write it. Yeah,
and we wrote, basically we didn't know if it was going to, because melding two lots of prose, it was an interesting challenge. And what we ended up doing was we each took one, there were two main characters in the book, and we each took one character and wrote alternating chapters. So I would write Michelle and she would write Katrina, and then we'd look at each other's work, and then we'd sort of edit each other's work, and we'd try and give it a sort of a smooth style. And it weirdly, it worked. And I think it was because we're on such the same wavelength.
We are.
We have exactly the same idea of what comedy is.
Yes.
And we spend a lot of time trying to make each other laugh. So it was a really fun thing to do.
It was so much fun. You don't usually get a writer's room situation in which you just laugh a lot, but we did. There's been she's kind of my work wife.
Yes.
Do my laundry for me. You
That's right. Yeah. And so then we wrote the first act, and
that was a proof of concept. We were trying to see if it would work, because it's such a gamble to see if the two voices are going to work together and if we could make them sound like one, and it worked. We were really pleased with how it worked. We sent it to our agent. She said yes, keep going. She said we'd have to finish it, so we had to finish it. And then she managed to, and this is the exciting thing, just before Christmas, we got an offer on it. And that was great. I mean, fantastic, good offer too. And so that's going to be published, in a year's time. Yeah. But the publisher wanted a few changes fairly fast. So we had to get together again and do an edit, and so that's what we've been doing. It's one of my favourite things to do. So we come up and we just work, and eat and watch bad comedies and laugh.
So yes, Alexa, who lives in Sydney, came up to the Blue Mountains, and she's been here for a couple of days, and we've been doing all that work, and it's been, as I said, a really new experience for me. It's so nice at my age to do things that are still stretching me. I'm still being stretched because I'm doing this co-writing. Oh, and by the way, we've decided not to we've combined, we're a new writer. We're called Claire Marcus because it's Catherine Claire Jinks, and
my great-grandmother's maiden name was Marcus, so she's the Claire.
And she's the
I'm
Marcus. So we've just been doing this really interesting new way of working, and while we were up here I went to a new place, which was Bridal Veil Falls in Leura. I've been here for 25 years and I've never been there, but I went there with Alexa. The Bridal Veil Falls lookout in Leura is just off the Prince Henry Cliff Walk, which is the main trail running along the edge of the escarpment from Katoomba to Leura. I guess the only reason I haven't visited the lookout before is because it's not part of a loop. It's kind of a detour, but not a very long detour. The lookout itself has recently been upgraded as part of the fancy new Grand Clifftop Walk. The work that's been done on Prince Henry Trail is pretty amazing. Lots of new stonework. What you're looking at here is basically the end of Lura Cascades. After we went for our walk, I tried another new thing with Alexa, a new cafe that's recently opened in Lura called Cafe Sana. It's in the extension out the back of the old post office building, and it has a lovely big window that you can open up to let in the fresh air. I particularly like the tiles. Anyway, I had a coffee and Alexa had a late breakfast, and then I waved her goodbye at Lura Station. The other thing that's new about what I've been doing with Alexa is tackling a rom-com, because I've never written a rom-com before. This one, The Gentleman's Garden, that is a romance novel, but it's not a funny one. And even though I also put a bit of romance into The Attack and Traced and Panic, that's, you know, they're not funny. They're meant to be thrillers. So there's a little bit of romance, but not a whole lot. So yeah, I had to try and write a rom-com, and I did that partly by reading a lot of, say, Sophie Kinsella and Marion Keyes, and also watching a whole bunch of rom-com movies, and that was not difficult because I love a good rom-com movie. And so doing that kind of new creative thing also got me into the try something new headspace, which meant that I decided to go somewhere else that I've never been before, which was Breakfast Point at Wentworth Falls. It's on the southern escarpment at Wentworth Falls, a bit further west than the falls themselves. And when you reach the lookout, you can see it's been here a long time because this is heritage stonework. What you're looking at here is the Jamison Valley and King's Tableland. There are some really lovely tracks leading away from Breakfast Point, and this one is part of the Grand Cliff Walk. You can tell by all the nice new stonework. This particular trail was especially exciting because it took you straight through a hanging swamp. A hanging swamp is one that's basically halfway up a cliff or mountain. And the Blue Mountains hanging swamps are really important ecological sites for things like the giant Blue Mountains dragonfly. So I've decided that my explorations into new places and activities aren't going to end there. I'm going to tackle some new stuff in future episodes as well. But until then, happy reading.